Hi everyone, I'm Sophia, and welcome to Chill English Channel.
Hello, I'm Jake. Today, we are going to talk about something very useful, your job. We will show you how to talk about your work in English.
Yes, Jake, talking about your job is very common. People ask this question all the time. What do you do?
That's right. The easiest way to answer is to say your job title. For example, I'm a teacher, or I'm a nurse.
Or you can say, I work as a designer, or I work as a driver. Sophia, what do you do?
I'm an English teacher. I teach students and make lessons for them.
Great. I'm a web developer. I make websites and sometimes help people learn to code. Another thing you can add is where you work. You can say, I work for a company, or I work for myself.
Right. If you work for yourself, you can say, I'm self-employed. This means you are your own boss.
Now, let's talk about what you do every day, your responsibilities. You can say, I am responsible for, I am responsible for teaching lessons.
Another phrase is, my main task is, for example, my main task is to design websites.
And if you want to explain your whole day, you can say, a typical day at work looks like, for example, a typical day at work looks like answering emails in the morning, teaching 3 classes, and planning lessons in the afternoon.
Good. You can also talk about your work hours. I start work at 9 a.m. and finish work at 5 p.m. Simple and easy.
And don't forget breaks. You can say, I have a short coffee break at 10:30 a.m., or I usually have lunch with my colleagues at 1 p.m.
Yes, breaks are important. You can also describe your daily tasks. For example, I check emails every morning, attend a short meeting, and then work on my main tasks.
Another good phrase is, I sometimes work from home, or I work a few days at the office and some days at home.
That's right. Now, let's talk about your workplace. You can say, I work in an office, or I work outdoors. Some people have a hybrid job, partly at home and partly at the office.
And don't forget the atmosphere. A formal workplace is serious, with rules about clothes and meetings. An informal workplace is more relaxed. You can say, I work in a casual office and I can wear jeans.
Coworkers are important too. You can say, my coworkers are friendly. Or, I work in a small team and we help each other.
And what about clients? You can say, I talk to clients every day, or I help customers online.
Another important word is deadline. You can say, I have a project deadline on Friday, or I need to finish this task today.
Let's try a full example. I am an English teacher. I work from home 3 days a week and in the office 2 days a week. A typical day at work looks like checking emails in the morning, teaching 3 classes, and preparing lessons for the next day. I have a coffee break at 10:30 a.m. and lunch at 1 p.m. My coworkers are friendly, and I enjoy my work very much.
That's a perfect example. You can change it for your own job. Start simple, then add details.
Exactly. Try to practice these sentences out loud. You can also talk about a previous job or even a dream job.
Yes, even if you don't have a job now, practicing with a dream job is good for learning.
So remember, talk about your job title, where you work, your responsibilities, your daily tasks, breaks, coworkers, and deadlines.
These phrases will help you speak about your job in English with confidence.
Great! Next, we will look at the work environment job satisfaction, and how to talk about your feelings about work. Now that we have talked about our job titles and daily tasks, let's look at the place where we work.
Yes, the work environment is very important. You can say, I work in an office, I work from home, or I work outdoors. Some people have a hybrid job, which means they work some days at home and some days in the office.
Right. For example, I work from home 3 days a week and go to the office 2 days a week. It gives me flexibility and helps me organize my day better.
And the atmosphere is another thing to describe. Some workplaces are formal, which means you must follow rules, dress smartly, and attend meetings regularly. Others are informal, more relaxed, and you can wear casual clothes.
Exactly. I work in an informal place, so I usually wear comfortable clothes. Jake, what about you?
My office is informal too, but sometimes I have meetings with clients, so I wear a shirt and jacket.
That's a good example. Now, let's talk about coworkers. You can say, my coworkers are very friendly, or I work in a small team and we often help each other.
Right. You can also describe the size of your team. I work in a large team of 10 people, or I work in a very small team of 3. It helps others understand your work environment.
And some people work with clients or customers. You can say, I communicate with clients every day, or I help customers online. Using words like team, client, colleague, and manager is very useful in English conversations.
Another important word is deadline. You can say, I have a deadline next week, or I need to finish this task by Friday. Almost every job has deadlines, so this is a common expression.
Now, let's talk about job satisfaction. This means how you feel about your job. You can say, I enjoy my job because it is interesting, or I like my job because my coworkers are friendly.
And sometimes jobs can be difficult or stressful. You can say, my job can be stressful sometimes, but I like the challenge. Or, it can be difficult at times, but I enjoy learning new things.
That's very true. For example, I enjoy teaching the most because I love helping students. But sometimes preparing lessons can take a long time.
Yes, I enjoy coding new projects the most. It is very satisfying when my work is complete. But debugging errors can be frustrating sometimes.
You can also describe parts of your job you enjoy less. For example, I enjoy teaching, but I do not enjoy grading papers. Or, I like coding, but I do not like fixing small errors.
That is a very natural way to talk about your work. And even if you don't like your job very much, you can say it politely. For example, I am looking for a new opportunity. Or, I want to find a job closer to home.
Right. Now, let's practice talking about teamwork. You can say, I work closely with my team, or we collaborate on projects every day. This is a very common phrase for many jobs.
Another expression is flexible hours. You can say, I have flexible hours, so I can start work between 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. This is good for describing modern jobs.
And what about the office layout? Some offices are open space with many desks and no separate rooms. Others have private offices. You can say, my office is an open space with 10 desks, or I have a private office.
Very useful. And let's not forget about meetings. You can say, I have a team meeting every morning, or I attend a weekly meeting with my manager.
And breaks are important too. I have a short coffee break at 10:30 a.m., or I usually have lunch at 1 p.m. with my colleagues. Small details make your description clear and natural.
Yes, and when we describe job satisfaction, we can also mention challenges. For example, I enjoy my job, but sometimes deadlines are stressful. Or, I like my team, but some tasks are difficult.
Another idea is to say why you like your job. I enjoy my job because I learn new things. Or, I like my job because I meet interesting people.
And if you want, you can add what you want to improve. For example, I want to improve my communication skills, or I want to learn more about project management.
That's a good way to show that you want to grow in your career. It makes your description of your work complete.
So today, we have talked about work environment, atmosphere, coworkers, clients, deadlines, teamwork, flexible hours, and job satisfaction.
Yes, and remember, practice makes it easier. Try to describe your work using these sentences. Even if you don't have a job now, you can talk about a previous or dream job.
That's right. And this practice will also help you in real conversations, interviews, or speaking with new people.
Exactly. Talking about your job is not only useful, but also fun when you can use simple phrases and describe your day clearly. So, we've talked about what we do, where we work, and how we feel about our jobs. Now, let's move on to another important topic: how to talk about past jobs and future goals.
Yes. Many people change jobs or want to explain their work history. You can use the past tense for this. For example, I worked as a waiter, or I was an assistant in a small company.
That's right. You can also say, before my current job, I worked in a restaurant, or I used to work in a shop. These sentences are simple and natural.
Sophia, what was your first job?
My first job was teaching young children. I worked in a small school near my home. It was fun, but also a bit stressful because the kids had a lot of energy.
I can imagine. My first job was helping in a computer store. I used to fix small computer problems and help customers find what they needed. It was a good experience.
That's a great example. Talking about past jobs is useful when you want to share your experience. You can also say what you learned. For example, I learned how to communicate better, or I learned to manage my time.
Exactly. You can also describe why you left a job. Say, I wanted a new challenge, or I wanted to find a job closer to home. These phrases sound polite and professional.
Now, let's talk about future goals. People often ask, what do you want to do in the future? Or what are your career plans?
You can answer with, I want to become, or I would like to work as. For example, I want to become a manager, or I would like to work as a graphic designer.
You can also talk about improving your skills. For example, I want to improve my English, or I want to learn more about marketing. This shows motivation.
Yes, employers and teachers love hearing that. You can also use I'm planning to. For example, I'm planning to start my own business, or I'm planning to study abroad.
And don't forget about dream jobs. This is a fun topic and great for practice. You can say, my dream job is to be a pilot, or my dream job is to be a travel blogger.
My dream job would be to create a tech company that helps people learn online. What about you, Sophia?
I think my dream job would be teaching English while traveling the world. It sounds exciting and meaningful.
That's a perfect example. Talking about dreams helps you practice the future tense and new vocabulary.
You can also ask other people questions about their work. For example, what do you do? Where do you work? Do you like your job? What do you do every day? What's your dream job?
And when you answer, try to use full sentences. Instead of saying just teacher, say, I'm a teacher. I work at a language school. It sounds more natural and fluent.
Yes. And remember, if you forget a word, it's okay. You can use simple phrases. For example, instead of I manage customer relationships, you can say I talk to customers and help them. The meaning is the same and it's easier.
That's such good advice. It's always better to speak simply and clearly than to stop because you can't find the perfect word.
Exactly. Confidence is more important than perfection. If you practice talking about your job every day, you'll get faster and more natural.
Here's a short tip for practice. Record yourself talking about your job for 1 minute, then listen and try to improve the next time.
You can also practice with a friend. Ask each other questions about your jobs or dream jobs. It's fun and helps you think in English.
Another idea is to write a short paragraph about your job. For example, I'm a teacher. I work at a school near my house. I teach English to adults and teenagers. I enjoy my job because I meet new people and help them improve their skills.
That's perfect for beginners. And for higher levels, you can add more detail. For example, I'm a teacher. I work at a private school, and I'm responsible for planning lessons, giving feedback, and creating study materials. My job is sometimes stressful, but I find it very rewarding.
Nice. That version adds more vocabulary and structure, which is great for B1 learners.
So, now we've covered everything. How to describe your job, your daily tasks, your work environment, your feelings, your past experiences, and your future plans.
Yes, and remember, talking about your job helps you practice many useful verbs like work, teach, help, manage, create, and plan.
You can use these phrases anywhere, at work, in interviews, or just when meeting new people. The more you practice, the easier it becomes.
So take some time today, write or talk about your job, and keep improving step by step.
You got this. Learning to talk about your job in English is a big step towards fluency.
That's right. Keep practicing, keep smiling, and keep speaking English every day.